Well, hello everyone, and a very happy Friday to you all. Thanks so much for joining us on UpNorthLive Unscripted at 6:30, and a little different of a format for our unscripted show tonight. So we are trying something different. We listened to all of your feedback and all of your concerns about our old format, so we're just trying something a little different. But in case you're new here, hi, I'm Maya Engel, and just to give you a quick little recap of what this show is all about, it's going to be similar to our normal newscasts. However, it's going to be a little more casual and conversational. So we're going to bring in guests to talk about their stories a little more in depth, and we want you to be involved as much as possible. So if you're watching on ABC, you can always go on your phone, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, leave some live comments. And if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, you can also leave any live comments. So enough intro, let's talk some weather. For the first time in what feels like forever, Joe, we finally saw a little bit of rain today, but probably not as much as we actually needed, right?
I was outside for a little bit, and I think I had my place about a drop or two was what I felt. But then other spots, you know, if you're around Rogers City, tuned in there in Presque Isle County, you've had a good dousing of rain today. So, but you're right, Maya, it was the first rain we've had in quite a while. And we need it too. So
we see any more rain anytime soon?
You know, I think a little bit this evening, mainly east of I-75. We'll show you that coming up a little later in Maine weather. But there is another chance as we get into the weekend, and we'll kind of time out when we expect that, and the rest of the forecast coming up a little later.
All right, thank you, Joe. And let's start off with our top local story of the day. And it's an issue that I'm sure every single community, not just in northern Michigan, but probably the entire state and probably a lot of the country is dealing with right now, and that is affordable housing. So, like I said, every community could use a little more affordable housing, and one northern Michigan community organization is thinking outside the box to be able to provide some affordable housing. Now, it may be a small impact on a small scale, but for one family it could make all the difference. So here is Mark Shillette with that full story.
I think, isn't that the way it is with everything? If you can do it, do it.
And when it comes to helping those in need, Leelanau Christian Neighbors have in fact been doing it for years in a variety of ways.
Well, we have a food pantry, which is kind of our base. You know, that's where we were founded, by a food pantry. And then we have Blessings in a Backpack. The Leelanau Baby Pantry is here, and we do a financial assistance program where we help people with assorted number of finance problems that they have. And then we have Samaritan's Closet.
That's a lot, but as of this week, they can add one more title to their resume, that of being a landlord.
Well, one of our neighbors said, we're going to sell the house across the street.
And that gave Mary and her board an idea.
We get calls all the time. I need a place to live. I'm going to be homeless if I don't find a place to live.
That cute little house across the street?
It's a lovely little, well-kept home.
Is now owned by LCN. They closed on its purchase this week, keeping this from becoming a vacation or short-term rental or a business that those in need may not benefit from.
We wanted to make sure that this stayed something that our neighbors could appreciate, and it was for them.
They have plans to turn it into truly affordable housing for a family in need.
The house is about 1,500 square feet. It was built in 1950. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
They've partnered with Homestretch, and the two of them will sit down and take a look at the future and the next step moving forward on getting this ready for a growing number of neighbors looking for places to rent.
We're finding a lot of people are living in motorhomes, you know, trailers, mobile trailers, and they can't live there in November and December and January.
It's one organization buying one house. They don't think it'll end the housing crisis, but it's a step in the right direction, taken by folks who already spend each and every day lifting up those around them.
If you can help someone, whether it's a hamburger at a McDonald's because they're out there and they have their hand out, or it's buying a house in Leelanau County and renting it at an affordable rate to people, everyone should be doing this.
And for more on this story, Mark Shillette is joining us live now. Hey, Mark, happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you indeed.
All right, so what is the timeline for this project? When will people be able to move into this house?
Well, that's still kind of up in the air. They just closed on the property this week. Currently, there are some renters because of the previous ownership. There's some renters in there for a couple more weeks. But after that, Leelanau Christian Neighbors hope to be able to get into the house and do a complete assessment from top to bottom of maybe some issues that maybe need to be repaired, some things that need to be addressed. And then after that is taken care of, they can go ahead and start the process. They're going to sit down with their partners Homestretch that are going to help play a role in all of this. But the goal is to get renters in there just as soon as possible.
And will it be just one family or multiple separate renters?
At this point, it is set up like a single family house.
Okay.
So I believe it's a 3-bedroom house. It's a great location. It's centrally located. If you happen to work in Lake Leelanau, you can walk to anywhere. It's right there on the road. So it is kind of geared towards somebody in the surrounding area that would benefit from having a house at that location. But at this point, it is probably going to be the way the house is set up. It's set up as a single family housing unit.
So we know that there is a great need for affordable housing everywhere. Leelanau County is in that bubble as well. So how will they decide who gets to move into that house?
Well, I think they have hustled to get to this point. I'm not sure they've exactly gone through the process of vetting out how they're going to set up a matrix as for who the best candidate is to get there. The remarkable thing with Leelanau Christian Neighbors is they help anybody that comes through the door. And that's really what they are. And whether that's a new mom that has babies, or a family that's hungry, or the backpack program through the schools, which is an awesome program to make sure the kids that rely on school lunches have some food to eat over the weekend when school's not open. Leelanau Christian Neighbors helps the neighbors, and that's what they do. So I'm sure that they will have some kind of process as to how they want to determine who the person is that gets to rent. And I think the thought process I kind of picked up was that this is a stepping stone. So if somebody may not move in there and rent it for 5 years, it may be like, okay, use this time here to take the next step out so that we can help the next family in. So that's kind of my thought understanding. But again, they have had to go through the process of this house suddenly, which is right across the street from LCN. They had to go through the process of, wait, we should buy this. To make sure that this building ends up being something that actually helps our neighbors. They have no problem with having businesses move in, vacation, short-term rental. You talk to anybody in any of our northern Michigan communities, and they say, their short-term rentals can take things out of the long-term rental policy, marketplace. So I think Leelanau Christian Neighbors didn't really want it to go that way. So the best way they could control it was buy it, make it happen, make it a reality. It's not a huge project. It's not one of these things where, we're going to build 64 units and we're going to address 64 people's families. But I think Leelanau Christian Neighbors is doing something like this is what they can do to help. So why not do it? Mary said that in the soundbite. If you can do it, you do it. It's a small bite. It's not going to completely solve the problem. But if nobody does anything, the problem never gets solved, right? So It's one step, one house, one family at a time. But they're doing something.
So do you think Leelanau Christian Neighbor would do this again in the future with another house?
They have been involved in other housing projects around Leelanau County, and they've had good success with those. Nothing like buying a house and turning it into a rental, but I think they saw this opportunity, they saw this need, and they put 2 and 2 together because that's what they're really good at, is seeing a need and then trying to figure a way to meet that need. That's kind of their core. So if this turns out well, maybe they keep doing this in the future. But again, ultimately, the goal is not to make a ton of money off rent. This is going to be truly, and we hear this buzz phrase all the time, affordable housing. This is actually not just northern Michigan affordable. This is going to be affordable. This is going to be a situation where they really take somebody and these folks can afford to pay the rent, which big deal. You've seen it, I've seen it. Things, we report on it, and there will be affordable units. And then you look at the price tag and you go, well, that's not affordable. That's not truly affordable. This, I'm told, will be truly affordable for that family to get a nice house in a nice location that can really impact their lives.
Do we have any idea of how much it could cost?
No.
Okay. Still in the beginning phases of this project.
They closed on the property, I think, yesterday. So they I'm not sure they've been owners for 2 nights of this property. So they have it. Now they got to go through the brass tacks and make sure the house is good, for a renter, and figuring out a process of how they're going to determine who gets to rent it. What are going to be our policies? What are we going to be able to do with this to get the maximum bang for their buck, if you will? So it's very, very early on in the process, but I think it's an interesting concept of, we hear we've all covered commission meetings and county meetings and government meetings. This needs to be addressed, and this organization said, "Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to try, and see if it works." And they encourage more organizations to step up and maybe try something like this.
Well, Mark, thanks so much for sharing this story and for joining us on Unscripted tonight. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, we have some more local stories to share with you. So today, 3 birds in Grand Traverse County have tested positive for West Nile virus. That is according to the county health department. Now, this is in addition to 2 other birds in Antrim County also testing positive for the mosquito-borne virus yesterday, and then another one in Central Lake on Wednesday. So the agency is encouraging people to protect themselves from mosquito bites because people can become infected with the virus by being bitten.
The best thing people can do is to protect themselves from getting bit by a mosquito. Some of those can include using bug spray when you are outside, wearing long sleeves and pants when you're outside. Be cautious of where you are when you are outside, and around your house, keep your landscaping clean, grass cut.
And the health department says most people infected with West Nile virus don't actually experience any symptoms. However, in rare cases, people infected could experience symptoms like fever, headache, body aches, and fatigue. Another story that we are working on today here in Traverse City is leaders are determining the next steps for a traffic flow pilot project in downtown Traverse City. So the pilot project converted State Street, Pine Street, and Boardman Avenue from one-way streets to two-way streets. Now, this was just a pilot project, and that is set to expire in October. So now the Downtown Development Authority and city commissioners, they have to decide if this traffic pattern will continue as a two-way street or if they will go back to a one-way street. And each of the options will require additional funding according to the DDA board, but the city commission will make the final decision on which option is chosen. But they will take some recommendations from the city's design team and the DDA. So our question of the day is related to this story, and that is, do you think that, oh, hold on, where'd it go? Here we go. Do you think that State Street in downtown Traverse City should remain a two-way road or go back to being a one-way? So as of right now, 68% say one-way and 32% say two-way. Now, if you haven't voted yet, you can scan that QR code on your screen right now and vote. You can also leave a comment on this live stream. But yeah, for me personally, I live in Traverse City, and when it first changed from a one-way to a two-way, it was a very big adjustment. But now I am so used to it that it doesn't really bother me, and I think it'd be confusing to go back to a one-way. But I'm looking at some of our comments on our Facebook post right now. We have 177 comments. So the first one is from Bonnie. She says, go back to a one-way. Rachel says one-way. Let's see. Megan says back to a one-way. Ruth says go back for sure. So a lot of people are saying go back, but I am curious why. Okay, so Brett says one-way. That whole curve around J&S is a mess with two-way. Marilyn says one-way, please. In the summer, it was so backed up with traffic, a lot of standstill traffic. The light at Union causes problems when someone's turning left. The one-way was so much better. Miranda says, I like the two-way, but wish there were left turn lanes. Mark says, go back to one-way. It worked for at least 50 plus years. Why did they change it? Amy, go back to one-way. So it sounds like our poll says, 68% of people say go back to a one-way. So we will put up our question of the day again a little later, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll check back in with Joe, and he'll have much more on your weekend forecast. Stay with us.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Welcome back to Unscripted, everyone, and a very happy Friday to you all. Well, believe it or not, tomorrow is the last Saturday of summer. The first day of fall is on Sunday. So hopefully we'll see a nice summer Saturday, and I have a feeling our meteorologist Joe Charlevoix will let us know if we are going to see some nice weather tomorrow. Hey, Joe, what can we expect?
Well, I'll tell you what, that means it's only 12 weeks away now till winter.
Oh,
You know, if you want to look at it that way.
No.
Yeah, you know, we needed some rain. We did get a little bit for some spots today. Not everybody has had rain, but I think later in the weekend, Maya, there's a chance for some rain as well. Fall does start. Let's take a look at that. We mentioned that. There it is. It won't be tomorrow, so enjoy that last full day of summer. Here, let's wipe away the leaves. Blow real hard. Go ahead. There you go. Fall begins not tomorrow, but Sunday, and it's in the morning. It'll be right at 8:43. I've seen 8:44, but you get the idea. Let's go to Drummond Island. We'll start there because I've been watching this camera. It's not too bad right now, but we've had some pretty actually heavy rain here over the past hour, off and on rain. I know not everybody has had a ton of rain, but that's one of the spots that has. And here's what that has looked like on radar this afternoon and evening. So there is a front kind of pushing through here. There are some of these showers and thunderstorms. You know, it's kind of the have and have not. Some spots have not had any rain at all. Other areas have had a pretty good dousing. Some spots have had over a ½ inch. There's a closer look. We're up in the UP in northern Lake Huron. Yeah, there's that rain near Drummond Island and just offshore now of Rogers City and the Grand Lake area, that particular region. Additional showers there around Atlanta, just pushing into parts of central Montmorency County there. And then north of Alpena, again, between there and Rogers City along US 23. And then we had some pretty good rain around Clare, that region. That's kind of starting to push out toward the Lake Huron shoreline as well. Here's what we expect now for the weekend. So we'll start, there's the showers and thunderstorms right now. This is future radar stormcast. Watch, see this white that develops tonight right there? Or gray, that's fog. And I do think it'll be kind of thick tomorrow morning, but it'll burn off, no issues. And there is around 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, a beautiful day. So no rain tomorrow. It'll be dry, lots of sunshine for the afternoon, warm too, 70s and 80s. And then as we get into Sunday, watch what happens. Sunday morning, clouds roll in, and then some showers. So it'll be kind of showery, kind of gray on Sunday, and then in lower Michigan, the lower peninsula, a steadier rain in the evening right there. So that's our best chance for some rain coming in, and then that'll depart as we head toward Monday. Usually put the beach forecast away this time of the year, but if you want to head there tomorrow on your Saturday, why not? The water's still warm, 70s and 80s tomorrow. Waves around northern Michigan will be less than a foot. And there you go, the extended forecast. Best chance for rain in the next 7 days. The next week is going to be Sunday, into part of Sunday night. And then next week, we're back to dry weather again. Another stretch of dry weather. It'll be a little cooler too. Notice Monday through Friday, you know, we're not looking at the 80s and 90s, but more in the way of 60s and 70s, Maya. So nice day tomorrow, but chance for some rain on Sunday in some spots.
Well, I'm glad you put up that beach forecast graphic because I think I'm going to have to go to the beach tomorrow.
Well, there you go. Nice idea.
All right, thanks so much, Joe. We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll check in with Sports Director Harrison Beebe. He has a preview of Week 4 of high school football. Stay with us. Well, the Lions play the Cardinals on Sunday. We have a whole lineup of college football on Saturday, but we can't forget about high school football tonight. So our sports director, Harrison Beebe, is live in Kingsley to have a preview of what games we can expect to see tonight. Hey, Harrison.
Hey, Maya, how's it going?
It's good. How's it going out there in Kingsley?
I heard you have a nice new studio to do the show in tonight.
That we do.
That new but familiar to all of us. And I'm familiar with Rhodes Field as well. That's where we're at right now. They just wrapped up a special salute to service ceremony here before the big game with Kingsley and Boyne City. And now I'm looking at the countdown, 4 minutes and 52 seconds till we kick off week 4. Yes, you were correct. It is week 4 of high school football. We're a third of the way through the season already. Kingsley and Boyne City, they're two of the best teams so far, in my opinion. They're both 2-1, but those losses were two pretty good teams as well. And so these two are kind of going to start the domino effect of what's one of the bigger conferences in our area. That's the NMFC Legends Division. So we're going to see who comes out on top tonight. We know Traverse City St. Francis could play a factor in this one. They're playing Grayling tonight. Sheboygan could play a factor in this as well. The Chiefs have yet to play an NMFC Legends Division game tonight. But also about an hour south of me, Reed City and Glen Lake. That's a pretty good game going on this evening. I know we sent Trevor Robideau down there to get highlights of that one. Excited to see the Lakers and Coyotes, who comes out on top there. And up in East Jordan, the Red Devils and Charlevoix Raiders are squaring off. East Jordan hasn't beaten Charlevoix in 11 years, so they have a pretty good team. This might be the year they do it, although maybe that's the Charlevoix bulletin board material keeping them going.
All right, Harrison, a lot of exciting games tonight. We will have highlights for you all tonight at 11 on Hometown Highlights. Go enjoy your game. We are going to take another quick commercial break, but we'll be back in just a few minutes and we'll check back in with our question of the day.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Taking another look at our question of the day. Should State Street in downtown Traverse City remain two-way or go back to one-way? Right now, 67% say one-way, 33% say two-way. We have 194 comments on our Facebook post with this question. I read a few of them earlier, but I'll read a couple now. A lot of people are saying the same thing. Change it back, go back to one-way. Jane says add some left turn lanes and let's keep it a two-way. Brandy in all caps says one way. So people are pretty passionate about this. Tara, back to one way. James, either lose some parking spots to allow another turn lane at the lights or go back to a one way. Sharon says turning lane at Union is a must. So it sounds like if people do want to keep it two-way, they want the city to make some changes, and who knows if that will happen. So thank you so much for joining us tonight on Up North Live Unscripted at 6:30. A reminder, you can vote on our question of the day on our website, upnorthlive.com as well. But that'll do it tonight. Have a great night and have a great weekend, everyone.